Beautiful souls, and welcome back, or welcome to the Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Hi there, happy Wednesday. I know it's been almost a week since I've been on, or over a week since I've been on. It's been an interesting energy that is moving through. I'm sure some of you are feeling it. A lot of big, heavy emotions. Hello there. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in, you guys. I'm going to talk about the energy that's been kind of floating around. I feel like it's going to be lingering for the rest of the week and probably into a little bit of next week. Hello there. Oh, look at you guys all coming on. Good to see you. Monday was a holiday here, and I wasn't on, and I actually forgot it was a holiday until it was a holiday. Let's jump into the energy update because it's a little bit much, and I'm sure many of you are feeling the big feelings, big emotions, aware of endings, aware of uncertainty, aware of our anxiety. Some of you may be experiencing a little bit of dizziness or fog in your head. Your crown chakra is trying to connect, and perhaps you're pushing that back a little bit. Some endpoints, heightened overwhelm, a little bit choppy. It's been a little bit choppy with things that are coming to an end. Endings can be in many, it's a big word. Endings can be ending relationships, ending thoughts, ending how you're thinking about things. But endings also shift into understanding and receiving answers and closure. So there's a lot of that floating around. So if you're waiting for some closure or waiting for something to end, you're probably feeling that this week. There's also some slowdown feelings. Perhaps you're just feeling really tired, lack of motivation, wanting to hibernate. There's a lot of that coming through. But it's a big feeling emotional week this week. And as humans, we often try to avoid those feelings. We often try to push them down. We often try to fight them. And it's about allowing ourselves to feel. We need to feel. We need to be able to verbalize. We need to verbalize things. We need to be able to let go and to release. And sometimes we really struggle with that. So the lack of motivation. If you're struggling with feeling motivation, slow down. Let yourself chill. Your physical body, your energetic body, your emotional body, it's asking for a little bit of time just to chill. And I get it. Schedules can be hectic. We have a lot on our plates, but if you can find even a moment or two a day to just kind of sit, to just kind of give yourself a chance to breathe, to kind of give yourself a chance to let go, let go of some of those emotions, speaking those emotions, even if you can't label them, it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes we can't even label how we're feeling. You guys know what I mean? Like, I'm just feeling a certain way and I don't know why. You don't have to label it. You don't have to understand it. You just have to kind of like feel it, move through it, give yourself permission to kind of feel through that. At a soul level, and this was really interesting when Spirit said to me. Spirit kind of rewound the timeline a little bit to before we came into having our physical experience. And Spirit reminded me that when our souls agreed to come to this timeline, our souls were very excited, and our souls don't label things as good or bad. We're here to learn, and we're here to have an experience, and we're here, and it's almost like an excitement with our souls. I'm coming to the physical world, and I'm coming to learn so that we can grow, and I'm here to my soul's coming to help the collective. That's the soul energy when we agree to come here. The human side, very different. Heck no, I don't want to learn. Heck no, I don't want to go through that. Heck no, like we go through that as humans, right? And the soul's like, no, but wait, there's an excitement to being here. There's an excitement to the learning. There's an excitement to the healing. So we have two very different perspectives sometimes, not always, when it comes to our soul versus our human experience and how we process our human experience, right? Well, humans tend to label everything. We label it and we label it, we label it. And I feel like the right remainder of this weekend into next is to kind of like peel off some of those labels that maybe you've attached to yourself, or perhaps those labels that you've put out into the world, good versus not good. But just kind of like removing some of those labels and just kind of coming back into the energy of who you are. And labels, certain things are just a word used to describe. It's not the essence of who you are. So when we put a label on ourselves as not being good enough, or a label on ourselves as whatever job career you do, that is something that you're experiencing. It's not the essence of who you are. When you think about your job, is it really who you are? Is it what you do? Right? It's the same thing with our emotions. Our emotions and our big feelings. It's something that you're experiencing. It's not who you are. So I'll use anxiety as an example because I think many of us can relate with that word. We all have some level of anxiety at point in time in our journey or some point in time on our day. You know, you're not anxiety. It's not who you are. You're experiencing it. Right? You're going through it, absolutely, but it's not the essence of who you are. So when we can try, if you try to take off some of those labels that you perhaps that you're struggling with, it kind of like lightens you a little bit. With I'm having that experience. I'm learning this. I'm feeling this way. It acknowledges it without taking it on as the essence of who you are. I hope I'm verbalizing that correctly with how Spirit gave it to me. I also want to talk about being able to protect your energy right now when we're going through our own stuff. It's really important to honor that. It's okay to say no, I can't do that today, I'm sorry, I can't help with that. It's okay to say I need to go to bed early or I need to stay in bed. It's okay when we can, and making room for that. Sometimes we have to put things back into balance, and I think a lot of our crown stuff is trying to connect to that. We're trying to connect with that, right? And that's why if you're having any headaches, or if you're feeling a little bit dizzy, or if your ears feel off, your crown's trying to connect to a different energy versus what's happening here in our physical world. I sit several times a day with what's happening in our physical world because it is very hard to understand. I am going to be the first one to say that. There are things that are going on right now in our physical world that there is a real big lack of understanding why, how. But when every time I take that to spirit, spirit simply pushes it back. We're all going to navigate through this collectively. And yes, taking a look at what's really hard right now, but not leaving that in our as our permanent space that we're going to hang out in all day long. Right? So giving yourself a chance to connect with nature, reading your favorite book, taking a couple deep breaths outside, connecting to one another, when you feel like you need support, or connecting with yourself, giving yourself that support. Do you support those emotions? Do you support yourself through that? Do you give yourself time to be, downright bawling your head off at the snot bubbles coming out and honoring that this is how I feel? Right? This is what I'm experiencing. Giving yourself permission, and when you do that, you kind of feel that tilt back into balance a little bit. Give yourself some downtime. Say no to a few things if you feel you need to. If you need extra rest, if you need to hibernate a bit, if you need to just pause, even for like 5 seconds. I've talked about this before. I'm just going to pause it for 5 seconds. I'm going to turn off my phone or mute my phone, or I'm not going to check the social media or the news. I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to pet my cat or my dog. I'm going to count the stars for a little bit. I'm going to watch the sun come up. Those little things really help shift our energy a little bit. And it is, and it has been heavy for a couple of weeks in the physical world. We need a break from that sometimes. And remember, endings also mean understanding and answers. So if you're going through some endings, whether it be relationships or jobs or anything like that, just remember there's going to be an understanding and some answers. All right, you guys. I hope that resonated with a few of you. I'm going to scroll up here. Let's have a sip of tea, and then I'm going to scroll up and grab some questions. I see you all there. Okay, come on. All right. Look at you guys. I missed you on Monday. Is that selfish? Um, no, it's not selfish. I missed you all too. I had a fantastic weekend away with the hockey team. We were Durham area and took home the silver medal. I did post that, but the weather was very difficult. The amount of snow, I haven't seen that amount of snow for quite a few years. And things were canceled, like mail services. Some restaurants were closed, but hockey goes on. Okay, anyway, good to see you guys all here. Payne and Greg, good morning. It's been a while since I've been on a live. Does Spirit have anything to say to me today? Payne and Greg, I feel like I've got to really come into that good enough energy. You're good enough. You're trying hard enough. It's that enough. You're doing enough. And sometimes we all struggle with that a little bit, but I really feel like I've got to acknowledge you and all the things that you're doing and trying to do. Things that are going well and things that are not going well. I feel like Spirit really wants to say, you know what, you've always tried your best from, where you were standing, and sometimes we have to cheer for ourselves, and some ooh, I like that one. Sometimes we have to cheer for ourselves. We don't always get cheering squads around us from other people. We don't always get it, and we seek it so desperately. We want people to like us, we want people to cheer for us, we want people to support us, and sometimes it doesn't come in the way that we want it, but we have to be our own cheerleaders. So I feel like I need to say to you, Painted Gray, from your spirit team, cheer for yourself. You've always been enough, and you're doing very well here. Jasmine, hi Lana. Good morning. Does my sweet friend Elena have any messages for me? I miss her so much. Jasmine, I feel like she's been reaching out. I just, as I'm reading your message, I keep getting poked. I feel like she's been reaching out to let you know that she hasn't gone anywhere, that she's definitely here helping. And I feel like sometimes you feel that energy and then you question it. Just simply acknowledge it. The more that we connect and acknowledge that spirit is here, the more we feel, the more we get, the more that we have these magical moments where I know that's you. And she's just saying to trust that. I feel like you've always had a trust between the two of you, and she's saying that trust is still there. Like the trust, there seems to be like a trust bond here, that is unshakable, and it still exists, is what she's saying there. I hope that that resonates there. Good morning. Any advice about my current situation? Kate, I do feel a lot of light coming in. I do feel like a lot of clarity coming in. I feel like I've got to say, it's almost like I've got to put down the bag that you're carrying and just say, I'm just going to allow myself to go through this. And whether I go through kicking and screaming, or whether I walk right through it clear sailing, I'm just going to allow myself to have that space. I also feel, Kate, that I need to do some removing of energy. Open a window today. I know it's cold here. I don't know if it's cold where you are, Kate, but open a window and let some of that old energy out. I feel like some of the old energy is kind of like affecting your thought process. So I feel like I've got to say some deep breathing. There is light at the end of this. It's going to be okay. You're navigating through it beautifully. And I just have to say, you've got so many people energetically, spiritually, physically that are walking right beside you. I also feel, Kate, that I have to say, there's a leadership. There's something with leadership with you that I'm not sure if you're quite tapping into. Because spirit's pushing me into that lead the way kind of energy. Lead the way. Don't wait for other people to lead the way. Lead the way yourself. Right? Even when you don't know, here's how they're giving it to me. Even if you don't know the way or the direction, lead it anyway. None of us know exactly what we're doing here anyway, and they're chuckling with that. Like it's so true. Just lead the way, one foot in front of the other. You're leading the way on your own path. Ooh, I love that. All right. PJ, I'm so sick. Send healing vibes. PJ, absolutely. Absolutely. PJ, I really feel I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but I gotta give it to you. I really feel like turmeric and ginger. I feel like I need a big swig of it, with a crack of pepper. This isn't medical advice; it's just a little bit. I just got this taste in my mouth. I think that will help you immensely. And lots of rest. And PJ, I think rest can be something that you may struggle with, and I think your body's just saying, "Let's just rest. Let's just rest." Spring, yes, I just had a feeling this morning you would be on anything on Mama Cat. Um, Spring, she's strutting her stuff. So she's literally like strutting her stuff, almost like I know it's a cat but I feel like I'm catwalking it. I feel like she's so proud of you. And she's bringing that energy to you and to your family. I know this, Spring. She truly isn't gone. She's happily over the Rainbow Bridge and happily back over here. She's bringing in a lot of support, but she's saying. And I get it with the emotions, but she's saying to me she doesn't really want you sad. Yes, you're letting go and yes, you're grieving, but she's still very much here. She's also really aware of a lot of the gratitude that you have for your relationship with her. I feel this immense amount of gratitude, that she's just so grateful that you were her mom. And like, I just feel so much of that. I feel like, she had a really good life and was loved and she's still loved. And she wants you to know that she's very much okay. She's kind of like got this. I just feel so proud, so princessy is kind of how she feels there. Jasmine, I feel very tired and sleepy in the mornings, and also mad. I don't know why. There it is, Jasmine. It's the emotions. It's gonna be like, if you're feeling these emotions, let them come and go. Right? Okay, acknowledging it is huge. There's that anger, and I'm ticked off, and I don't know why. Right? And I just giving yourself a chance to kind of release it, and whatever releasing looks like to you. Some people like to release release it, by a good old-fashioned scream outside, like just letting it go, or giving yourself a time to just acknowledge that I'm really angry right now, and I'm gonna let that go, and visualizing it like a cloud floating through. Right. It's a moment. It's just a moment. I'm having a moment. Right? Just giving yourself that time. When we acknowledge it, it really has a healing power when we acknowledge it. And we're not taught that. So some of us are going through some reprogramming from our childhood because, depending on how old you are, some of us even though the intention may not have been, to be damaging to us as kids, but we're not taught to verbalize, right? Like be a good girl, don't cry, and like we're taught to swallow our emotions quite often as kids, or perhaps you didn't feel heard as a child. We're so a lot of that comes up when we have emotions. That inner child stuff comes up when we're having emotions, and we often struggle with acknowledging it. I'm sure many of you will struggle with this is how I'm feeling when it's the hard stuff, right? We don't do well always with sharing our hard stuff. And sometimes that vulnerability piece where, we're afraid to let somebody hold us through the hard stuff. You got to be strong, you got to be tough, you got to push through, you got to persevere, all of that. Yeah, we do move forward when we're ready, but we've got to work through that energy. We got to work through that, those feelings. We got to work through being able to share and acknowledging it. We don't have to be perfect and well put together all the time. And sometimes it's really therapeutic to wear the oldest pajama bottoms you got in the drawer with the blanket up to your chin and say, this is how I'm feeling today, right? Honoring how you're feeling, sharing it out there, getting it out there. It doesn't have to be with people if you don't want to share it with people. Go tell your feelings to a tree or to your animals or to the sky or to the moon, whatever kind of moves that through where you can share it. And when you think about sharing and vulnerability, it can be uncomfortable. Like even think about yourself or your friends or your family. They'll carry something for a very long time before they share it. And we go, I didn't know you were going through something like that. I wish you would have came to me, right? So it's about holding space, and it's about being gentle with people and gentle with ourselves when we're going through things. It's been a week from hell, migraines, headaches, congestion, upset stomach. Dear Lord, I can't take it. Big, lots of healing energy for you, PJ. If you get a chance, if you, there's many of them on YouTube. If you can just listen to a Hertz frequency for the crown chakra, I'm drawing a blank to one right now off the top of my head, but there are Hertz frequencies. I feel like it'll help with the head congestion. I feel like if you can just kind of give your crown chakra a chance to kind of connect a little bit, have a listen to one of those, PJ. They can be very, and there's all kinds of Hertz frequencies for different things. Hertz frequency for anxiety or Hertz frequency for angelics. Look one up for the crown chakra there, PJ. April, good morning. Messages. Any messages for me, Lana? I'm just thinking of talking to you and I can't sleep it off. I was just thinking of talking to you. Okay. Um, April, I feel okay. I feel like you've been collecting things that aren't yours. Energy. I feel like I've been, again, it feels like I'm picking up things that aren't mine. And I understand that we help when we support other people and other people on our path and in our family and in our friend circle. I feel like I've got to say, I've got to number one, put down what's not mine and kind of observe, not absorb, just a little like working on that, fine tuning that a little bit because I feel like you're like everything that you've picked up. I feel like I've got it's weighing you down, and we can't help people. When we're picking up their stuff, it weighs us down too. We give the best advice when we're not absorbing other people's stuff. We function better when we're not carrying all of that, right? And sometimes we're not aware. When I always say to people, just sit for a moment with and tell me about all the people that you're supporting and helping right now. And most people can give me a list. I'm this person. I'm this person for that person. I'm this person for that person. I've got this role with that person. I've been helping this person through that person, which is absolutely wonderful. But when we absorb it, when we carry it, when it kind of leaves a layer on us, right? So being able to just simply, light a candle, sending light out to all those people that you're helping, and just try and observe their struggles rather than absorb it. And this may go back, April, for a long time. There may be things that you're not even realize that you're still carrying that's not yours. Situations from years ago. I feel like I've got to just close my eyes and let it all down. All right. I gotta watch the time, you guys. I do have to work today. Harvest Moonlight. Good morning, Lana. I hope you've had a lovely week. It's good to see you again. I was wondering if my spirit council had any messages for me. Breathe. I just had to take a big breath. I had to take a big breath. And I think, this may be for more than Harvest Moon here. I feel like, with everything that is going on around us, both personally and collectively, we're not breathing. And I feel like we're truly not, we're not breathing deep. We're not, and when you think about the big breath in and the exhale, it's a letting go. And we don't have to label what we're letting go. We don't even have to know what we're letting go. I feel like I've got to get some really big breaths in there. I feel like I've got to expand my chest. I feel like I got to really kind of open up that area, open up that heart chakra, open up with some deep breaths. And I feel like you'll be able to navigate through things when you're able to breathe deeper. I also feel Harvest Moon that they're saying that you need some space. So I don't know if you had a lot of people on you or if you haven't been out, or I just feel like I've got like open space. So if you get a chance, if you can find an open space, even for a moment to stand in, I feel like I need to see open space. I feel like I'm really tight. And that feels like energy to me. Like I'm tight in energy. I'm tight with like people on me. I'm tight with things that are like out of my control. And I just feel packed. So I feel like I need to stand in an open space and feel the energy of an open space. It can be the sky. It can be, as you're driving, if you're driving past a field, if you can pull over safely for a moment and just kind of like observe open spaces. I really feel this powerhouse of open space is really going to help you. I also feel Harvest Moon. I just literally, you go to the eye doctor and they say, it's number one or number two, which one's clearer? I feel like with that open space, there's like a clarity that comes in. I feel like it just feels like your spiritual vision is going to gain some clarity from just giving yourself time to look at open spaces, bigger perspectives. Ooh, there it is. Bigger perspectives is what you're going to feel from those open spaces. Give it a try. Mila, I have a question. I want to learn how to be able to communicate with spirits like you do. I want to be an evidential medium and be able to communicate with the dead, but I don't know how. Every single one of us can tap in. Every single one of us. Now, Mila, and I'm going to say this really, really lovingly, and is you will connect like yourself in your way. No one will ever connect the way I connect. No, I can't connect with how you connect those ways. So I think kind of understanding that you have your own personal connection, your own personal relationship with spirit, and its development. So this is something that is developed. And people say, I really want to do this, but I don't have the time. Waiting for that right timeline, Mila. So if it's now, start reading some books. If it's now, start taking a workshop. If you feel like this is the path that you want to take, slowly start growing it, slowly start tapping in. And it doesn't have to be the great big things. Just sitting outside, breathing and asking spirit to come to you is growth. Right, working with your spirit guides, being, talking to your own people that you've got up there, just starting to work that way slowly. And it does develop. And when I look back, even if I look back, my YouTube channel isn't really that old, but when I look back at my YouTube channel, or I look back at myself 10 years ago, you can see the development in how I channel. You can see the growth in how I channel. But I work on it every day, right? So, there's no ceiling. I don't know it all. I don't think there's a medium that does. Like, we don't know it all. We're always learning. We're always growing. And sometimes we stand still. There are times where I've said to spirit, like, I don't feel that growth. Like, why am I still working this way? And they're like, there's still lots of learning here to do. It's allowing and trusting, Mila. Allowing and trusting. Motivational vibes. Hi, do you see a great job opportunity coming for me this spring to help improve finances? What kind of job are you seeing, public or remote? Thank you. Motivational vibes. I feel like I've got to expand my search. So, I feel like I've got to really, really expand it, and it also feels like a playful energy. I would look for jobs that are just for the playful energy. Doesn't mean you're going to take a job in another country, but just to be more playful with it. I'm going to see what other parts of the world are doing in this career. I feel like I've got to really get playful with it to help open up doors, opportunities. Opportunities, is an energy that we put out there too. I'm willing to learn something new and work remote. I'm willing to work with people. I feel it more of a remote, like I can see like expanding your reach. And and 'cause I don't feel a physical move across the world, but I feel like I got to expand my reach. So I'm going to lean a little bit more remote, but I would also keep the door to working in the public. I would keep the doors open. I've talked about this before, and it really does help. Use your cupboard doors or your fridge door as a spiritual exercise. Every time you open your cupboard door to get a cup out or your fridge door, just say, doors of opportunity are always open for me. I am opening doors of opportunity all the time, and it doesn't have to be for job searching. It can be for, it can just be for anything. I'm open for new opportunities all the time, and I say that every time in my head or out loud, every single time I open a cupboard door or a door of opportunity. And you know what? Opportunities are usually always landing in my lap in some way or form. It might be an opportunity for work. It might be an opportunity for play. It might be an opportunity for relationships. It might be an opportunity, to try something new, but always leaving doors of opportunity open. It's a real simple exercise. The fridge, this is what I do when you open the fridge and there's a light and the light comes on. I'm opening opportunities filled with love and light. There is always light behind the doors for me. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. It helps with that mindfulness, and it helps with your manifestations, because you really have to, with manifestations and energy and alignment and mindfulness, you have to always be working in that way, right? You, things are always coming to me, right? Even little things, because people say I don't have time for all these spiritual practices. Insert them in the chores that you're already doing. Well, if you're opening the cupboard anyway, make it a mindfulness moment. I do the same thing when I'm washing laundry. I'm putting in the clothes in the laundry into the washer, and I'll be literally like I'm washing out old energy. Whatever needs to wash away. Right? It's just it's just a mindfulness moment. When we insert those mindfulness moments, and it starts to increase, and it starts to shift. I promise you guys, it shifts things huge. All right, let's have a sip of tea, and I see Miss Kayla. Kayla. Morning, man. Good morning, darling. Any messages from my spirit team? Kayla, I feel like your trust factor has really elevated. I just suddenly, like, I was at the top of a roller coaster, like just the ride up of trust, like kind of like bumpy, 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 bumpy. And I feel like you're right at the top with trust, and the rest of the ride with trust is it. We always come in and out of it. Don't be so hard on yourself. But I feel like your trust level is huge, and I feel like as you navigate life's path, that roller coaster path. But I feel like your trust is you've reached a new level with it, and it will continue to grow. I still grow my trust every single day. I trust a little bit more, and I trust immensely. But we're always growing it, and I feel like you're in such a growth mindset, and I feel such an excitement that you're, even when things get bumpy or turbulent, I feel like your trust is such a beautiful shift. And I feel like I've got to say to you, well done. Celebrate that today if you get a chance, and celebrate it every day. All right. I hope that helps you there. Uh, Bianca, good morning. I love that name, by the way. Good morning. Any messages from my spirit guides about my upcoming Saturn return sun? I feel like with this upcoming return, I feel like I've got to say turn your turn your frown upside down. So I'm not quite sure why, Bianca, if you've been kind of frustrated lately, or if like I just feel like I just kind of went like that, and I feel like I've got I don't feel heavy with it, but I feel like I've got to say a change in perspective is coming your way. So Bianca, have you been frustrated lately? Because I feel that frown turning upside down, and when a frown turns upside down, it's a smile. Right, so I love that. So when a frown turns upside, so I just feel like there's this lighter, like this happier, this smiley, and I feel like you're shifting more into that. But when things get frustrating, as they all do, always does for all of us, I feel like I have to say, okay, I'm learning, and sometimes I will do it even gritting my teeth. I'll grind my teeth. I'm learning right now. So when you go through your learning, turn your frown upside down. And as always, we're learning. We came here to learn. We go in growth spurts with our learning. Sometimes it's calm for a long time, and then bam, we're learning something. try and go through the learning with a bit of a shift of perspective. And I'm going to work on that today too, with turning the frown upside down. I love that. I love that. Lucia, hi Lana. I hope you're well with you. Lately, I've been feeling to be alone. People are draining me. Honor that. Honor that, honor that, honor that. When you feel like you need a break, honor that. Even if it's only a 5 minute break that you can give yourself, give it to you. I also like to protect my energy from people. So I'm a big protector. I like to do things that protect my energy from being drained. And I also like to recharge. I love people. I love people so much. But man, if I'm not protected or recharged, it hits me like like hitting a brick wall. So little things that you can do, and whatever resonates with you. You never have to take all of my examples, but you can tweak it to what resonates with you. Is protection, a crystal. You can use your body cream and just this love and light all around me to protect me from other people's energy. The whole observe, don't absorb. I'm going to really start practicing observing, and I'm not going to take on the energy of other people and recharge. We don't recharge. How many of you recharge at the end of your day? Plug yourself back in and truly recharge. Nature is a glorious way to do that. Turning out the world for 5 minutes. How many of you turn your phone off for a moment of the day? I'm just not going to be aware of alerts. I just want to recharge. I'm going to recharge. You can do it with moon water. You can do it with regular tap water. Label your water bottle. Anything that you can do to kind of like protect yourself a little bit from the draining and recharge. We give our energy out so freely and we don't recharge it. So I feel like you've got to recharge. And I also have to say is it's okay to retreat back for a moment and not be too peoply. And I did that on the weekend. And people looked at me like that is so not like you, Lana. So we were at a big hockey arena, big tournament. The arena was packed. I was wired. Well, I was wired energetically. And I literally went down to the lake that was right behind the arena. It was too peoply for me in there. And I just tapped in, did a breathing meditation, posted it for you guys to join me. I needed to let go of the energy of the people in there. It was too much. The competitive energy was too much for me in that moment. And I'm very grounded and I'm very protected energetically. And I still had a peoply moment where it was like, I need out of here. It's too peoply in here for me. And I even said it. I even said it. And outside I went. You see, I honored what I needed. I needed out of there and you know what? It was cold, so 15 minutes was long enough for a few reasons. But I needed that time to just step back, and it's okay to step back lovingly. I'm sure the arena was full of loving people who were in a competitive energy, but I needed to step out for a little bit and just regroup, reconnect. And in I went, and I was fine for the rest of the tournament. I just needed that moment. Give yourself a mindfulness moment when you feel it. All right, you guys. Mel, good to see you, Miss Mel. Good morning, Lana. Made it to see you live. It's going to be a great day. Sending my love. Any guidance for me today? Um, I just got like happy feet. I just got like those choo 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 choo. Mel, have you been kind of like I don't know if it's dancing or have a more of a pep in your step lately? Because I just feel like this pep in your step, and I feel like I have to say, really enjoy that. Like really allow that movement. Like really give yourself a chance today to Snoopy dance or to kind of like move your feet in that happy movement. I really feel that momentum there, and I feel like that momentum is bringing great things to you. And I just feel like I have to say, keep that happy dance. Keep that when things get, turbulent or rough or sticky, happy dance your way through it. It's quite funny. Brad, hello, darling. Hi, Delana. I was just saying to my, oh, I went chaotic with the mouse here. Hold on. Sorry, Brad. Brad. Oh, there we are, Brad. I was just saying to my mom not 30 minutes ago, hopefully you'll be live. So good to see you. See you, our favorite. Oh, bless your heart. Any good or bad news for us? We've been going through a tough time. Um, I don't feel any bad news. I feel like I need to say, you're doing a really good job walking through this tough time together. I feel like I feel like there's been a lot of growth there, even though it may be hard to see. I feel like I've got to say to you, and to mom, you are so loved. You are loved beyond measure. And so I feel like it, I don't know if you feel like you're alone through these hard times, or that you're not doing good enough through these tough times. I feel like it's the opposite. You are completely surrounded by love, by spirit, by us here on the channel. And I feel like I say you're navigating through this very well. And I feel like I've got to kind of give yourself and mom, a little bit of acknowledgement, and look, and some proud moments, feeling proud. Brad, I'm also curious, have you been looking through a photo album recently? I don't know if you've been, or perhaps it's a memory bank in your brain, but I feel like I've been kind of like reminiscing on old times. And I literally see a photo book album. So I'm curious if either you and mom have been doing that lately. And I feel like I have to say all those beautiful memories are always here. They're yes, they're in the photos too. But I feel like I have to say you're carrying them around you with you always. There's something there with memories beautiful memories. I feel it like beautiful memories. And I feel like I've just got to say those memories come with us. Yes, they're in a different timeline, but they come with us in our current timeline. I hope that that makes sense there to you, Brad. And Brad, I'm also feel like, and I'm trying, I don't know if I'm going to get blush or why I'm blushing here. Brad, I feel like I have to say you are so good enough. I just feel like it's like the essence of who you are is incredible. Like I just feel like this connection and this love for you, and it's literally making my face warm. I really feel like I need to say to you, Brad, the essence of who you are is absolutely glorious. Feel that. All right. Love you, Brad. Okay, you guys. Absolutely everything that you've said resonated with me. Thank goodness. Uh, okay, you guys. It's 9:05. I'm already behind the time here. I know there's a lot of you here that I didn't get to. We will. Hopefully, you guys can join me next week and we can grab a couple more questions. I'm not here Friday. I'm back in another hockey tournament, so there will be no Ask the Medium on Friday. So I will see you next week. Let me see what Monday. I think I'm Zoom next week. So on the weeks that I'm Zoom, I can hang out a little bit more because I don't have to drive anywhere. But the weeks that I'm in person, I can't quite hang out here. Um, Energy update will happen on Monday, and I will be here next Friday, the 28th, as well for some Ask the Medium. Okay. All right. Let's go to the angel numbers and we'll go to a spirit animal. I know there's many of you here, guys, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. I really do. Um, but I've got to watch the time. Okay. 410. Your positive affirmations and visualizations are helping you co-create the answers to your prayers. Stay positive because it's working. Let's do one more too. Can't quite put the book down. I just want to add to that number too. I feel like I need to add acknowledging what we're struggling with, is also important too. That kind of opens up when we acknowledge, yes, I'm having a really hard time and I know I'm going to get through this, but I feel like acknowledging is so important. All right, 536. The ascended masters say that your changed focus is helping you ease the stress of every day. Love that. All right, you guys, let's set some intentions. What do we all need to hear? Whoops. Condor, also called a vulture. In, in spite of the dire circumstances you find yourself in or the losses you've sustained, you'll eventually discover the gifts in this experience. Okay, I gotta read that again. In spite of the dire circumstances you find yourself in or the losses you sustained, you'll eventually discover the gifts in this experience that may not be immediately apparent. It's time to clean up the clutter or messes that you find around yourself. Develop new and creative solutions to those problems that you or others would prefer to ignore. Acknowledging those emotions, right? Acknowledging those emotions. You'll find the answers. You'll find that your taste, cravings, and possibly your entire diet will soon change. So pay close attention to your body's response when you eat certain foods. It's time to take on those material items that no longer serve a purpose and either recycle them or get rid of them. You'll find a renewed sense of vitality and enthusiasm about life. In the morning, take a few moments to greet the sun by standing with your arms out in a welcoming gesture. This is a good time to retreat and enter into a period of solitude and meditation. Did we not talk about that this morning? Giving yourself some time. The conversation I had about standing in an open field, giving ourselves, permission to work through things. Turkey vulture. You'll find yourself being more visually perceptive to the point of seeing auras around others. It's a good opportunity to sort out and eliminate what doesn't smell right in your life. Wow. Wow. That message resonates a lot with what we talked about this morning in the energy update. Agreed? Love how it's talk about recycling. I'm crafting wands out of chopsticks. Oh, I love that. Loads of love to you all. I know I didn't get to all the messages here, you guys. I'm so grateful that you were able to join me. Um, as always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings. Have a spirit guided week. Enjoy the weekend. Give yourself some time to breathe. Give yourself some time to let go. Give yourself some time to feel those emotions. Confront those emotions, talk to them, acknowledge them, peel off some labels. Give yourself that time, right? Where we don't sit with ourselves enough. We don't give ourselves that TLC enough, and we're feeling it, right? We're feeling it with those emotions. I love you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care.